Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be zooming by myself and sending it to you, and then uploading it and to YouTube so it can be public. So we don't want any names or any private information given. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, this is the timeline that I've sent you a picture of. This is what I'm doing today. So we're kind of behind on the Zoom, so I may do two at one time tomorrow. But anyway, tomorrow is May 1st, and this is the end of the 2 weeks, and we have not decided what we're doing yet. So just stay tuned. Okay, here we go. These are from notes page 8. Excuse me, these are from problems page 8 at the bottom. This is parallel and perpendicular. Let me remind you of a couple things. First of all, this is a line, and we're going to write the equation of a second line that has these 2 points in it and is parallel. So when I get finished, my answer will still have 3 as a slope, but this will be different because it's a different line. So here we go. First of all, it says write an equation for a line that is parallel to the given line and that contains the given point. And notice all the answers are in slope-intercept form. So that's what we're going to do for ours. Let me lower this just a little. Okay, now what I taught you in our notes was we're going to go from PS to SI. That's what our notes said. Of course, I know the notes you got are a little bit different, but it's okay. So PS is point slope. Slope-intercept is y equal mx plus b. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to start with point slope. Well, actually, before that, I had taught you to write the slope, and then the parallel slope to that is still 3. So later on, you have an assignment that's perpendicular, so we would have to do the opposite reciprocal. So let's get started. Y minus, and y1 is the 7. Our slope is parallel to our original line, so we're going to still use 3. And then x minus, x1 is 2. So to me, the hardest part of this, if you were to see this, excuse me, on a test, were to think, I already have a line, so let me just put that for the answer. And they'll have it. They should have this for an answer, so you'll be wrong 100% of the time. So don't ever choose the same answer as what's in the problem. You want to go through and use 7 for y and y1 and 2 for x1. And then after that, you guys are masters at this. We're going to distribute and then add the 7 away. Y minus 7 equals 3 times x is 3x. And then minus, and then 3 times 2 is 6. And then we're going to add 7 plus 7. And then the next thing we write should be our answer. Y equals 3x. You say to yourself opposite, so we're going to subtract and take the sign of the larger, which is the 7. And then we will look for our answer. Excuse me, something's caught in my throat. Y equals 3x plus 1. And there it is, number 10. I'm going to write 10 here and put a circle. Okay. One more time, we wrote an equation that is parallel to the given line. So here's the first line and here's the second line. And notice they are parallel. The slopes are the same, but they're not in the same place. This one is low, it crosses down at -4, and this one crosses kind of higher than the origin, it crosses at +1. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Let me move this over so we can see all the answers. Okay, next. Again, original line, but we're going to make a new line with this as our, as it goes through 4, over 4, down 5. So our slope is -1/2 in our original. And to get a parallel line, we have to keep the same slope. So y equals the y value, oh, excuse me, that is wrong. It's not equals, it's minus. Y minus -5 is going to make it +5. Now our equal sign. Our slope is -1/2 x minus 4. Okay, so we distribute, and then we're going to subtract away the 5. Y plus 5. Oh, that's not too good. Better. Okay, equals -1/2 x. Okay, a negative times a negative will be a plus. And then you can say 1/2 of 4, or you can divide right here. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then times the 1 is still 2. So either way, it is 2. And then we're going to minus the 5. The 5 subtract away, and I have y left. Negative, y equals -1/2 x. Opposite subtract, get a 3, and the sign of the larger number is a minus. So there's our answer. So I'm looking for y equals -1/2 x minus 3. Here it is right here, number 15. So number 15 is our answer. Okay. And let me fix this in the same way. Okay, going on. Okay, now these are different. Notice it's not in y equals mx plus b form. There was a formula that we showed you how to use for slope before we left. M equals negative b, negative a over b. So I'm going to know that this is a, this is b, b is 1, and c is -9, which again we don't need. So our slope is, I'm going to say m equals, okay, negative a is -4, and b is 1, so that is -4. Now that is parallel to itself. Okay, so what we just did was we took this information, we put it in this little formula, negative a over b, and simplified to get -4, and now this is our slope that we want parallel to this original slope. So we use this y1 and y2, so we're going to say y minus 9 equals -4, and then x minus -2, which is plus 2. Okay, distribute and add the 9. Y minus 9 equals -4x, and -4 times 2 is -8. I'm going to add away the 9. And final answer, y equals -4x. Opposite subtract, and sign of the larger is positive. -4x plus 1. Here it is way up here. Let me slide it just a little. -4x plus 1 is number 1. Okay, now I'm feeling like I want to do this. I'm going to take this and solve for y to prove to you that the slope is -4, okay? So I'm going to write 4x, and I'm going to put it here, solve for y. I won't do this for every problem, the next 2 problems, but we'll do it for this one just to prove to you that -4 is the correct answer. Okay, 4x plus y equals -9. And what I want to do is subtract the 4x, because again, we're solving for y. Okay, this subtracts away, y equals. Okay, out of these two, you cannot add and subtract a variable and a number. So we're going to have to write them beside each other. So I'll write the -4x first, because that is what the formula has in it, in that order. And you can see right here. Okay, I keep running these together. I don't know how I'm kind of picky about that. Okay, minus 9. Okay, and if you look in the right place, this is the slope. And it is -4. Okay? Okay, so we're going to trust the formula, negative b over 2. Now, by the way, if there were a number in front of y, we would have divided. And this one's 1, so that's a waste of time. Okay, let's go to r. Check something. Well, I've kind of lost what I need to do. Okay, I think I'm got it back. Here we go. Okay, last one. I'm going to have to move this down a little bit. I'm going to have a little more room. Okay, so here we go. Let's do green. First of all, the slope is -a. This isn't working out. -a over b, which is -a is -5, which is, I'm just going to make it a +5 over b, which is 3. So 5/3 is my slope, and a parallel slope to that is itself. Okay, so we're fixing to use this point in the point slope formula. Okay, so y minus -8 makes it +8 equals 5/3. And then x minus -3, which is x plus 3. This looks scary, but it's not. It's not going to be very scary. Okay, so I'm going to fix and distribute y plus 8 equals 5/3 x. Okay, plus, because they're both positive. Okay, now we are going to say 3 divided by 3. And that is 1. And then 1 times 5 is 5. Now watch this way. You could have multiplied first. This is 15. And 15 divided by 3 is still 5. So either way you do it, you get the same answer. Okay, and then I'm going to minus the 8. Okay, so not very bad. Y equals 5/3 x. Opposite subtract to get a 3. Sign the 8 is largest, so it's a negative. Okay, we're going to slide up and see the answer. 5/3 x minus 3. Here it is, number 18. And give you a little bit of time to copy, and then we'll go to the next one. Okay, remember, if you have questions about anything, you can go back and watch the video again, or you can remind me a question. Okay, first of all, here, let me change color, blue. M equals -a over b. And I see negative, this is a 1. And b is 1. So the slope of this line is -1. And what is parallel to -1 but another itself? Okay, so y minus, and I have my y value here, 0, equals, and the slope is -1, and then x minus -4, which makes it +4. Okay, y minus 0 is just y, so we're going to collapse that down to just y, and -1 times x is -x. Remember, in an answer, you won't have the 1. And then -1 times 4 is -4. So let's look for this answer. So this had one less step. negative x minus 4. Here it is right here, 27. Okay, give you a couple seconds there. Okay, now we're fixing to use the same procedure, only we're fixing to write perpendicular lines. And perpendicular lines are not the same. So this is the only part that will be changing for perpendicular. We don't want parallel slope, we want perpendicular slope, which is, you should have read in your notes, opposite reciprocal. Okay, so let me give myself a little more room here. Okay, that ought to be plenty. Okay, it says, write an equation for the line that is perpendicular to the given line and that contains the given point. So the point, here's the slope. So what we're going to do is, we're going to say the slope is equals negative 1/3. And I want to know the opposite reciprocal of that slope. The opposite is positive, and the reciprocal is 3/1, which is 3. Now, I don't expect you to have to do all this, but I still want your mind to be clear about what I just did. I flipped the fraction, and then I changed the sign, opposite reciprocal. Okay, and then I'm going to use this slope and this point to write an equation of a line. So let's start off with y minus, and the y value is 5, equals, our slope is 3, and then x minus 2. Okay, we're going to distribute and then add away the 5, and then we will find our answer over here. Y minus 5. Oh, y'all know I don't like that. Y minus 5 equals 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Okay, and then add our 5. And what I'm fixing to write is my final answer. A little bit more room. Okay, y equals 3x. Opposites subtract, and sign of the larger, which in this case is the 6, is negative. Okay, so 3x minus 1, here it is, number 7. So number 7 is our answer. Okay, give you a couple seconds. Okay, and we'll start the next one. Got 4 more problems to do. Not bad. A different color. Let's go red. Okay, so first of all, we have to spot our slope, and then we have to change it in 2 ways. M equals 2/5. And I want to know what is, excuse me, I was about to do parallel. What is perpendicular to 2/5? Again, it's the opposite reciprocal, so we're going to have a negative and flip this fraction, and you get 5/2. So this is the slope I'm going to use for this problem. So let's get started. Y minus, okay, and y minus a negative 3 is plus 3, equals, our perpendicular slope is 5/2, and then x minus 2. Okay, distribute. Okay, y plus 3 equals negative 5/2 x. And then if I multiply a negative times a negative, I get a positive. Okay, first I'm going to divide. I'm going to say 2 divided into 2 is 1, and then 1 times 5 is 5. So I have a whole number 5. Again, I could have said 5 times 2 is 10, and then 10 divided by 2 and still got my 5. Okay, minus 3, minus 3. Okay, y equals negative 5/2 x. And opposite sign subtract, and sign of the larger, which is plus. Okay, negative 5/2 x plus 2. Here we go, number 12. Okay, here we go again. Here's the letter P. And this one looks a little different. There's no number in the numerator, but you know in front of any x, any variable, there is always an unwritten 1. So we know that the slope is m equals 1/4. And what is perpendicular to that? Well, I change the sign, I get negative. And if I flip the fraction, I get 4/1. So I'm going to go ahead and just write that as plain old 4. And then I'm going to start the process point slope with this point. Y minus 7 equals negative 4. And then x minus negative 3, which is plus 3. Okay, distribute y minus 7 equals negative 4x, and then negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Okay, that kind of looks like a y. Okay, y, excuse me. Okay, add 7. Okay, y equals negative 4x. Opposite sign subtract. And sign of the 12 makes it larger. So here we go. Negative 4x minus 5. Here it is right here, number 20. Okay, give you a little bit of time on that one. Tomorrow we're graphing, as you can tell. Okay, so let's do the last two. And these are in standard form. I really didn't say that before, but we have to find the slope with negative a over b. Okay, 3 is a, so I'm going to say negative 3 over b is 2. And then I have to get the perpendicular version of that, which is, if I change the sign, I make it positive. And if I flip, I get 2/3. Okay, so let's use this point to write a new line. Okay, so y minus negative 2, which is plus 2. Okay, our new slope is 2/3. And then x minus negative 9, which is plus 9. Looks like it's going to be tough, but it's not. Y plus 2 equals 2/3 x. Okay, 2/3 of 9. So what we have to do is I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And remember that 3 in my head. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 6. Okay, let's do it the other way. 2 times 9, because they're both numerators, is 18. And if you say 18 divided by 3, you still get 6. Okay, minus 2, minus 2. Y equals 2/3 x. And then opposite subtract. And sign of the 6, which is a plus. Okay, and now 2/3 x plus 4, let's look for that answer. 2/3 x plus 4, here it is, number 3. Okay, to give you a little time to write that. And last one. Okay, M is negative A over B. Okay, negative A is 5, negative 5, excuse me. And then B is negative 1. And the two negatives make positive. We don't need the 1, so it's just plain old 5. And what is perpendicular to 5? Change the sign, make it negative, and flip the fraction. So I'm going to imagine a 1 underneath, and if I flip it, I get negative 1/5. So there's our perpendicular slope. 2 zeros, so we got the origin. Y minus 0 equals negative 1/5 x minus 0. Okay, so this just collapses to y. I do have to say negative 1/5 times x. Okay, but this positive 0 you will not see written, so we're actually finished with this one. Okay, so let's go look at the answers. Y equals negative 1/5 x. There it is, number 22. Okay, we're finished with today's assignment. I sent a reminder out yesterday that today I would be doing this so I could make it public. So I'm fixing to upload this to YouTube, and I want you to leave me a comment or a like just to let me know who's out there, who's looking at the videos, and I will see you again. Okay, have a good day. Bye, guys.